Hey, what's up, dude? How's it going? Well, this is a head here off of a 2015, I believe it is. Hold on. Heater always tries to cut me off. No, this is off of a big Grizzly 700. So I've got a couple videos of this thing. The issues we were having. It was backfiring at a certain RPM, and after checking everything, man, we did a leak down in the intake valves. They were not sealing very well. We actually had a bunch of air coming out around the seat. So after working them and doing a couple good deep laps on here, we finally got them seated well. But the problem I was having is it was still wanting to come around here. So now we're good. Now it's nice and back and polished up where we're supposed to be. Had a couple good layers of valve grinding compound I used on it. So, but I had some previous videos leading up to this doing some of the head work. But it took me forever to get the seals in. I had to order these and took them like almost a month to get in. That's the only thing I've been lacking, because all the spec checked out on all the valves and all the guides. Everything else was fine there. She just had enough build up around the intake where she wasn't seating very well, and so we're gonna get this thing finally put back together. I wasn't gonna rebuild it without putting new valve seals in here, and I got a whole other gasket kit. So I've got the whole top end gasket here. The whole top end gasket kit here, so new head gasket, and you see everything it comes with. And this came in pretty quick, but it just took forever getting the valve seals. I'm gonna lose my new one there. That wouldn't be good. So yeah, it's just been one of them things, man. One of those nickels holding up a dollar type situations. Because these little guys weren't that much, but like I said, it just took forever to get them, and I wasn't gonna throw some Amazon cheapies on there. So it is what it is. Just getting it cleaned right now and put back together. And if you ever had one of these apart, or if you've ever seen them, it's kind of funky, man. The way the rockers are held in, we've got two big pins here, press fitted into this head. And you hold the rocker in place, and you have to use a slide hammer to get them out. They're threaded on the end, so you can get them out. It's kind of a bear. So I've got them in the freezer right now, shrinking down, just to get them small enough to help me get them back in here whenever I go to press them back in and clean them and oil them and everything. Just checking out the bearings on these, and the cam bearings themselves are ball bearings. I don't know if you can see that down there or not. So I thought that was kind of cool. Instead of your just ceramic oil pressure bearings, these are pretty slick. So we'll get this all back together, and I just pray that everything works out all right. So we're almost to the 1,000 subscriber goal here. So I figured, you know what, might as well just go live, talk to some folks, let them realize I'm not a bot. I'm here to be real. So, you know, hanging out and doing my thing, man. If y'all have any questions, I'll keep popping my head over on the phone here, and I'll try to talk you through some stuff, see what we got going on. I've already kind of cleaned up the head here. I checked it. She's actually not sunken anywhere in there. I was surprised. I thought I was going to have to do a little bench top mill on her here, but she did all right. So not too bad. Oh, there's the rockers, by the way. Little 4-valve configuration. That's where that big pin goes through there. So I'm just cleaning everything up for now. Getting ready to put the new seals in here with my handy dandy Q-tips from Harbor Freight. They do pretty good. And something I always like to do too, after I've got the valves good and lapped in the way I like them, before I even take these guys out, I'll mark them. See how I've got if you can kind of make that out or not, a little S ground into this thing. Looks like a 5, but hey, give me credit. I was trying to use a little etching tool, little marking grinder tool, vibrating tool, whatever the heck it is. So I just marked the S for spark plug side, and when you're looking at this, see how the spark plug comes out on this side. So I know that when I lap these in, that my S is going back in on my spark plug side, and then my other one goes over here. And all I did was just check them after I lapped them, just to make sure, just for my sake, so I wouldn't try them again. Make sure they're clean. Oil this down so she goes through my seal nice and smooth. Beautiful. So what y'all into today? Y'all working? You on break? Sitting back watching YouTube? Day off, or what y'all up to? Let's see. Yeah, Yama lube in the bedroom. I don't know about that, man. Smells too bad. Of course, then again, I guess it, you know, depends on what you're working with. Might be an improvement. The Chinesium 545 barrel and piston. Is that an Arctic Cat? 545? Talking to the one and only Tyler One. Is that what you're talking about? Is a Arctic Cat 545? A Husky chainsaw. Well, the Chinesium's barrel and piston. It's kind of unique, man. I tell you what, it'll probably do the trick. It'll probably do the trick. However, when you start getting into some of these Chinese parts, they'll look the same, they'll feel the same, but when you get down to like their margin for engineering and machining, they have looser tolerances. So for example, I know you're talking to Husqvarna, but on a steel chainsaw, you can take the factory jug and the piston with no ring on the piston yet, hold your finger over the spark plug hole, and the piston will not fall out. That's how tight a tolerance is that Stihl runs as far as their quality control. That piston will not fall out of the cylinder. Now, if you take an aftermarket, like I think Organ sells some kits. Organ makes some pretty decent kits for those things, and there are some other ones. I would just stray from the Chinese off-brand name ones. But even an Organ one, if you've got that piston and do the same test you would do with the Stihl, where the piston's upside the jug and you're plugging the spark plug hole with your finger, that piston will fall right out. So it just comes down to the machining tolerances, like how specific they make the things, the quality control. I mean, if it's something that you got for remotely cheap or even free and you're trying to rebuild it, hey, go for it, give it a shot. It might work for a little while, but it's just one of those, over time will tell. And the thing is, depending on what kind of Husqvarna you're talking about, I'm trying to think of the 454. If that's an older one made before the big box stores got a hold of them, it'd probably be worth putting some quality parts in it. But if you're talking just a newer Husqvarna that you got at the store in the last 10, 15 years, it's probably got Chinese parts in it already. So, I mean, it wouldn't hurt, especially for the value of the money, just to go ahead and replace it with what you can, just to see how it goes. Wartech. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of Wartech. But it'd be, you know, just one of them deals, man. It's, you kind of, you're taking a risk. Taking a risk. But I mean, if it's for yourself, go for it. If it's for a customer, do some research. See how well, you know, how reputable the company is, and see if they make a decent, if they make a decent part that's got a good reputation, go for it. But I'm not one to try new things. I know it doesn't, if I don't know if it works or not. I've been going to Taco Bell for 20 years and I order the same combo every time. So I don't like change. If I know something's good, I'll try it. I don't like wasting money or wasting time. So change for me, I've got to be persuaded that it's a pretty good upgrade for me to change from things that I've already established. And not to say that I'm hard-headed. That's not the case, but I just, you know, some stuff works and some stuff doesn't, so it's kind of hard to take a chance on stuff without knowing somebody else has already done it before. Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for joining in today. Jerk. Stop doing that to me, please. Fat finger problems. Thank you. Seriously. Driving me insane. Jeez, oh Pete, come on. Dude, come on. Like an amateur hour here. Are you serious right now? Okay. I have to do this differently. That might be better. Let's try this. Okay, hold on. Let's try for 2. Alrighty. All right, we're gonna play. We're gonna play Dora the Explorer. So, my little bitty valve keepers here. Do you see my other valve keepers? I just had them right here. How did I lose them? I lose everything. Who's right here in front of me? Do you see my valve keepers? Where? Nope. It's not under the oil. Nope. It's not in my other bag. What the heck, Dora? Swiper must have swiped them. Son of a gun. How? How? Oh. I found them. Swiper did swipe them. Look at that. You guys didn't say swiper no swiping, so he took them. cheeky fox. Cool. Hey, thanks for that. Good job for not screwing up. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thanks. Yeah, it's hard doing fine work when you got sausage fingers, but hey, you know, whatever. All right, lightning, let's strike twice. Stop sticking. Why are you magnetized? Oh, Lordy have mercy. Dude, will you stop? Dude, will you quit sticking to that? We got one. Woo! We got one. Woo! The more I see other machines being worked on, makes me wonder why mine haven't kicked the bucket, given how much I use them. The inevitable will arrive one day, no doubt. Hit the tip with a torch to kill the magnetization. Never tried that before. Works pretty good. How long you got to heat it? I used to use those little small, those little magnetizing and demagnetizing little plastics. You run them through. Never done it with a torch though. Let's see if it works. I'm curious. You got me curious. Stand by, I'm getting the torch. No, it's not magnetizing the handle. It just, I think it just got magnetized because it got too close to one of my other magnets there a moment ago. So let's see. All right, we see how it's sticking. All right, and let's just proof of concept here to make sure that the piece itself, maybe the piece itself got magnetized. So it's stuck on a magnet. Either way, we'll try it. Let me see. Is it hot? Yes. It's hot. It went tss, tss. So it might be the piece. So I was pulling them out with a magnet a minute ago, so maybe they got a little magnetized. I don't know, man. Let's see. What else can I grab? Another screwdriver? You know, it must just be, for some reason, these have got some magnetization there stuck in them. Let me get it hotter. $482. Oh lordy. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get that with this little guy. Maybe another day. I got my big torch out in my trailer since we've been dealing with so much freezing weather here lately. I gotta melt my locks on my trailer. Let's see if this one's... Good lordy. Oh well, I guess I'm just going to deal with it. All these picks over here and all my straight ones are magnetized. Food for thought. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. That's good to know. Yeah, I do have that little demagnetizer in my little hobby electronics toolkit, but I got it inside in my drawer, my junk drawer that has everything else in it that I tinker with inside the house. You know, the usual. Well, I know I don't have many folks watching this live stream, and I'll admit it's not that exciting. It's really not. But, however, we're almost at 1,000 subscribers. And I figured it'd be good to just go ahead and just show a little bit behind the scenes here and let you know that I am the guy that makes these videos. And I am the guy that does these repairs. So sometimes it's kind of cool to put a name to a face, a face to a name, you know, in my other videos and stuff. So I just wanted to say hey and let you guys know that I work on four-wheelers and mowers and a bunch of things. And this is not just my side hobby. This is my main gig. I left working for the state of Ohio Department of Transportation to do this thing. I left administration, and that's a whole story on its own. Wasn't fired. I left because I wanted to. I've wanted to do this type of work for a long time, and just kind of took a big leap of faith and a lot of prayer before I decided to just say, you know what, God, I know you got better plans for me than I have for myself. So here I am, making her work, buddy. Some days it's a pain in my butt. I take it back. Most days are a pain in my butt. And that is the only bad thing about being in business for yourself, if any of y'all out there know. Sometimes when you're having a bad day, you can't just say, screw this place, I'm going home. Because it's your name on it. You gotta take care of it. So here I am. I'm doing the Lord's work. Oh, restoring what people have just neglected. Alright. Give her the old hopper test here. Cool. No fly babies. Sweet. 2 down. Hey, what's up, Dad? How's it going, man? Love you. Yeah, on that chain we did yesterday, that was pretty slick. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that chain splitter, I got to make a video on that too. I thought that was pretty slick. Yeah, and as far as doing this content, man, like I said, this is making the content is not my full-time job. My full-time job is working on customers' equipment. I got my grandpa. He comes and helps me a couple days a week. So he comes over and helps me with some of the other small engines, getting the services and stuff done. But it is kind of tough trying to balance repair and service when it's just me and grandpa on a couple days. So I try to divide it up myself and do Mondays and Tuesdays doing repair, Wednesday and Thursday service, and then Fridays I'm out doing pickups and deliveries, which I might be farming out that pickup and delivery before long because that just takes a lot of time. But you know, I make videos like this because I wish folks would have taught me stuff like this. You know, it's, you can go to a dealer and learn their way, but I've been to some of those dealer trainings. I've been to international dealer trainings for big diesel engines and stuff, and it's kind of crazy. You do all this class work, all this time, a little bit of hands-on troubleshooting, different things, whatever you got to do. At the very end, you get a big old piece of paper that says, "Oh, you're now certified." By telling you, that paper don't mean much without actually using it. I mean, I've got a Polaris certification, a Caterpillar certification. Most of your experience comes by doing. So, things I've learned over the years, little tips, little tricks. That's why I make the channel. I just like to give back, man, and I listen to the old timers when they had something to say. I shut up, listen. You know, I'm not too proud to take good information from anybody. So I just like to give back, you know. I have no clue how you hide the chat, brother. Not a clue. It's like my second time going live and I couldn't tell you. Yeah, but working with my family is better than a desk job, absolutely. So it's kind of, if you're hanging around here, I'll tell you a quick bit here about the history. Is I've always been a mechanic as far as fixing my own things, and I got that from watching Dad and Grandpa. They drag raced when I was a little man, and we've always been a family of, if it's broke, we fix it ourselves. So I remember Dad pulling an engine out of the Silverado when I was, I don't know, middle school. It had to be middle school, I think, somewhere around there. Rebuilt the whole thing out of the Silverado. I watched him, and then Grandpa did the same thing with his 350 on his Chevy. They pulled it, rebuilt it. He even rebuilt the transmission on that thing. And then when I got my first truck in high school, Dad and Grandpa helped me pull it out, and I would say that I rebuilt it, but I didn't. You know, they did a lot of everything, and I assisted, but I learned a ton. I just kind of kept going from there, and I thought, you know, my body's going to keep on getting older. I already have back issues from football and powerlifting I did in high school, which was just stupid. So I started thinking in my head, like, you know, I got to get a better job that's not so physically demanding, and, you know, find a desk job. I thought that's what I wanted. So I'm back to college, got my associates in business administration, went up a couple ranks at ODOT, and then they had an opening for an administrative position. I applied, I got it, worked in administration for 9 months out of the union. I was non-union at that point. Absolutely hated it, man. Absolutely hated it. Talking about one day at a desk feels like a week. So I just kept coming back to wanting to do my own business, man. I really did, and it didn't make sense to leave on paper because I had good retirement, good pay, schedule wasn't terrible, but you know, if I wanted to go and do something with the family, you have to schedule off of work. If you got time saved up, or if you have a sick day, you got to use your sick hours. And with having 3 boys, I never had any sick hours saved up because either me or my wife were taking them to the doctor and eating up all of our time. And it is what it is. I'm not complaining. I'm a dad. That's my responsibility. But having this business has given me a freedom and peace that is really hard to explain, man. It really is. Yeah, there's some days I feel like pulling my hair out, and you can see I don't have much hair up here left anyway. So ain't got much to lose there. But it is nice. I'm not getting rich by no means, but I don't need to be rich. I'm rich in family, Brandon. I got great family. Got great kids, great wife, and Dad, Grandpa, Mom, grandparents on the other side. So it's awesome, man. It's a big old thing of support, and they all looked at me like I was a little crazy at first when I said I was leaving my state job to do this, because they worry. You know, I worry too about being able to pay the bills and keep going with stuff. But man, it was just a gut feeling. I had to do this, and I prayed about it, and I said, you know what? I'm taking a step of faith here, and here we are. It's almost 2 years. The LLC will be 2 years old on the 28th, and still going strong, man. And I get companies that call me all the time. They want to buy my business, and I'm like, I'm not worth that much. I don't know why you're even giving me the call. Or you get those Google booster people that tell you, oh, do you want more search results? Could you use more leads? I'm like, no. Word of mouth has me so backed up. I'm probably out a month now at this point. So it's just, and I'm always got something in here. Always got something in here. So, is it Manuel? I don't want to say that wrong. Rudia? Either way, I'm going to call you the man. So, the man, what do you do for a living, brother? You work on stuff too, or you just kind of dabble on the weekends, projects? Or do you have buddies' cars that you always get called to work on? Or what brings you here, man? Just curious. Used to be a letter carrier for the post office. There's crazy people that try to attack us. So when it finally happened to me, I left. Started pressure washing with my dad when his work partner quit. That's cool, dude. That is cool. Pressure wash stuff for 15 years. Wanted to learn to fix stuff instead of blindly pay to repair. So I've always been interested in the hobby. Raced motorcycles back in the day. That's pretty slick, man. Yeah, it is crazy how much stuff out there anymore is not really fixable. It's insane. I mean, until you get to the commercial level, then you're spending 5 times the price for everything, but it'll last. Like, I've had plenty of pressure washers in here that are the smaller ones, and they almost cost more to fix than they are just to buy them new until you get up to the commercial level, like I said, and then you can rebuild them. But you know, I've got a couple of videos on here of working on some of those, but I used to rebuild a bunch of them when I worked at the rental center. So it's definitely cool, man. There's videos out here like that for all sorts of stuff, fixing everything, and save yourself some money in the process. Honda GX 690, yeah, that's a big boy. Yeah, I like Hondas, man. When it comes to the real small motors, I know you think all small engines, but Honda makes a great motor. You get into the V-twins, or even like some of these different mowers, or anything with a good engine on there. Kawasaki's where it's at, man. They've got a great motor. They really do. But Honda, yeah, it doesn't seem like, no matter what time of the year, no matter if it's -20 outside or 120, first pull they cough, second pull they start. They're pretty slick. They've got it figured out. You know, it's funny though, even the Honda, the little Chinese clones, they work pretty good too. I'm actually pretty impressed by those little ones. Not so much the Briggs clones, because you're trying to clone a junk motor already, but at least when they clone a Honda, I'd almost put a cloned Honda up against a Briggs, and that's not even joking. Till you get to the Vanguards, and they make a little bit better of a Briggs engine, but just your your run-of-the-mill Briggs that they throw and everything. Those are just about as good as a Predator or a Chinese Honda. It's a sad thing, but I know quality control from Briggs, and they've been sold out to many different companies over the years, and they are not the same engines they used to be. Nowhere near the engines they used to be. Come on, baby. Yeah, they're hit and miss. I think it's just because they mass produce them like everything else. Seems like though they're not too terrible. The biggest thing on those, on any new motor, is you don't think about it, but they want you to break them in. There is a break-in period on those Predators, and it's not just let them run full throttle. You're supposed to run them for a little while, like 2200 or 2500 RPM for so long. Helps the cam break in and everything, and they want you to check and adjust different things if you need to, like the valve lash, make sure it's all good. That way you can get the full life out of them. But sometimes for the price, throw it on, go, do what you got to do. You got work to do. Keep it on the shelf and keep rocking. I'm not winning with these things today. Dropped in there too far, didn't you? Uh-huh. Jerk. Why you do me like that? No, come on. Come on. Not too far. Stupid thing. The motor Honda GCV 190. Yeah, I think that's the one with the timing belt, isn't it? If you even know about that. It's pretty wild. I've never seen a timing belt on a mower engine until that Honda did that for those little small guys. I guess the idea is it's quieter on the valve train, but it's a freaking push mower. The exhaust is louder than any mechanical part on there. Never had to replace a belt on one though, so I guess they don't have a poor design. Guess they got that part figured out. Come on, Bessie. Don't you do that to me. Don't you do that. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Stupid thing. Get down there. Come on. Come on. Come on. I know you want to. Dude, come on. Son of a gun. Why me? Gonna have fun till daddy takes a teeter to win. Hmm. It's a little rough out here in California with the recent stop sale on gas string trimmers, blowers, and mowers. The market to repair stuff is going great because it's too hard to acquire a unit from elsewhere. Yeah, how does that work being in California too? If you is it outlawed to buy any more, or is it outlawed to even use them? I mean, I know that seems kind of crazy. I guess reading what you're saying is it stops the sale on them. What if you buy out of state? Will they not ship to California? Really, dude? Shenanigans part 2. Let's go. So close, I can almost taste it. So stupid. It's frustrating. Should not be this hard. That's what I get for trying to multitask. Can only sell products manufactured before January 26th to clear old inventory. Cannot import from out of state. Business should restrict sale based on delivery address. Oh, so it's on the seller to be responsible. Gotcha. Well, that sucks. That does suck. Well, you know what, man? I don't know if you're even open to any recommendations on electric stuff. I absolutely love my Milwaukee tools. So I've got the combi unit from Milwaukee. I got it up from Home Depot on a Black Friday sale or something like that. It's usually the best time to get them, or Memorial Day sales or whatever. They're absolutely great. And you ask, oh, why you got electronic stuff or battery powered tools? That's just one less thing I got to work on, to be honest with you. So I've got, it's the, let me show you here. Got the blower. This fella right here, absolute monster, powerful. Set that there. Then the combi unit I'll show you. This is this guy right here. It's got the power head with the trimmer attachment on here right now. You just loosen this up, pop them out, and they're shaft drive. You can put any other attachments on there. I've got a bed edger. They make a blower attachment for it, but I don't need it because I already have the blower. Broom attachments, hole saws. I've got an extension right here, and then the pole saw end, which goes right on that dude. The batteries are the expensive part, but that's why I buy them in a kit. You get them all. You set it up right where you get the battery for hardly nothing. Where's my big battery at? Big battery's inside. Hold on, let me grab it real quick. I'm gonna show you. So I had the battery in here because we were blowing up some balloons for my sister's baby shower. Little air compressor, different nozzles and stuff on there. But that trimmer combo came with the combi base, the trimmer, and then a select side, whatever one you wanted to go with it. So I got the bed edger, and it came with one of these big Ford batteries. And I don't have a huge yard, but I can weed eat the front yard, the backyard, and blow the sidewalks, and this thing still barely uses 2 batteries. So I mean, it's a heck of a deal. It's one of those things I got to work on. So I like keeping these around just for stuff like that. Can I use my equipment that I own? Not sure. Some of the technical stuff, okay. Milwaukee guy myself, yeah, I am too, man. I bleed red more ways than one. String trimmer for around the house, gas backups when the family gets behind and whatnot. Blower's great, big battery. Milwaukee kit's awesome. Let's see. That broom attachment I'm probably going to buy. Here it works wonders on the little poles that fall from palm trees. And I bet it would. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, the Ford's battery's insane. And I was even looking at maybe just buying a couple. No thanks. I think the last I looked, that one battery itself, I could be lying, I think it was like 180, or was it 250? Might even been 275. Something stupid. But when I got the Black Friday deal, I got the trimmer with the weed eater end, the bed edger, and that battery, and a big rapid charger. I think it was like 275 for everything, and I was like, yeah, I'm basically getting the battery for free. So anytime I need a battery, I buy an attachment that comes with the battery. Of course, now it seems like they're getting around. They want to say the bare tool and the battery kit's on their own, but every now and then you still find one that's got a kit with a battery. That's usually what I do. So if I don't even need a tool, if I can get a tool and a battery cheaper than just a battery, of course I'm gonna buy the tool, get the battery. That's just common sense. Yeah, that's the way I do it, man. It's no brainer. Absolutely. Absolutely. Alright, let's see if I can get any further on this stupid thing. Try this again. Lord, give me strength. It's also another thing about being a shop owner is I can't just throw things when I get mad because I'll end up breaking something I paid for. And that ain't fun. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, that's where I do my shopping too, man. Of course, I got an account for there. It's not nothing crazy. But I was looking into when I started this business, different places that I could get business accounts with, just for in-between stuff. And Home Depot has quite a bit of mechanic supplies and tools and things like that too. Now, of course, I don't use my tax exemption on anything I use for myself. Is the whole way that works. If you're the end user, you're supposed to pay the tax. So I do. I play by the rules. That way, when I need to play by the rules later, I can say I didn't break any rules. So try to be honest in that aspect. Even if government's not always as honest with us about everything, I still like to be honest, because that's on me. What they do is on them. What I do is on me. And I teach my kids the same thing. It's about choices. Doing the right thing is not always the easiest thing to do. It's not always the financially easy thing to do sometimes, or morally the easiest thing, or sometimes it may seem difficult, but when you do the right thing, that's what matters. Keeps your integrity that way. I do that in personal life and in business. Some folks that run a business, I've worked with plenty of crooked people. Keyword, I've worked for crooked people. I ain't doing that. No more. It's not how I want to do things. And some folks say you got to be a little crooked in business to make money. If I got to make money by being dishonest, I don't call that being successful. Nowhere near. Come on, baby. I about had it with this stupid thing. Goodness sakes. The stress that you will never have because you know you did your books properly is invaluable. I couldn't imagine doing shady stuff to cook the books, then worrying for years and years if jail. Well, less stress equals longer life, hopefully. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, man. Well, and the thing is, if I want to grow the business, I've got to be able to show my books, just to show what I'm making, what I'm earning. Because banks are going to want to know, hey, can you pay it back? And I've never understood. I've seen so many small guys stay super small because they'll cook the books, or they like to keep things cash off the records and to pay tax on it. Well, if you ever go to grow, you get a business loan, if you're not claiming all your cash, yeah, you think you're winning because you don't have to pay tax on it, but now you have no leverage. You have no paper trail saying that your hard work has earned this much money. That's what banks are looking for. They're looking for somebody that is a money machine. They're looking for somebody that can do the work and make the money. So I'm almost there. Like I said, we'll be 2 years old here. Well, by the end of the month. So at that point, I might be able to look into maybe some small business loans, maybe for a bigger location, for tools, equipment, maybe a service truck. I don't know if I really want to get into mobile service. I did a little bit of it, and it's for the birds. I don't like doing that. Some people like doing that to get away from things, but I'm a homebody. I don't mind working in the garage in the comfort of my tools and knowing where everything is. I got my machines the way I like them set up, and I can reach around and walk over and grab exactly what I need. Of course, there's a lot of money in field service. I know that. Like I said, I've done some of it. Just not It's not a fan. It's a different thing. It's just a different world. Different set of people out there. And it seems like no matter what you do, you find the right folks, they understand, but there's a lot of back and forth with field service. It's usually not just a you go out there once and done type deal. You need parts, you got to order parts, you got to get parts, and you got to come back, and you got delivery charges, and you got all these different other fees and everything else that I got to do to pay for my travel. Got to do that. You can't do stuff for free. People would like you to. Heck, honestly, I wish I could do it for free. I really do. I like doing this stuff. Of course, right now I'm not liking this too much because this thing's being stupid. But they were a pain in the butt to get on here. It's kind of weird. These valves are so sunken down into this head on here. It makes it really difficult to work down in here. I've even got some fine tools over here to get me down where I need to be. Still a bear. Yeah, well, you know, any type of estimate that I do, always, and I learned this early on just working other places, you always leave room for error. Not so much personal error, but just things change. You know, you give an estimate for something, and you get out there, and then once you replace that one, it's like the weakest link will break in a chain. That's just always the matter of fact. So you've got a series of components, and you're troubleshooting, you're diagnosing, you roll down to one thing, and you fix that, and you look at the general overall condition of a machine, you say, you know, it's pretty fatigued overall. So I always leave room in there, like, you know, this is the general estimate. Labor is subject to change based on conditions or unforeseen circumstances. We always let the customer know along the way, hey, if we find something outside of what we talked about, you're going to know about it. I document it, I present them to the customer, let them know what's going on. Sometimes you fix the weakest link. Well, now that's the new strong link, but now the next chain in the system that's got a weak spot, it's going to show its face. So that's what they call snowballing. You get into one thing, and it just kind of keeps rolling over. You come to a point, you say, hey, you know, we can keep going, or we can stop. It's up to you, but it just is what it is. I always leave room for that. I have yet to been screwed on something like that before because I didn't plan accordingly. Especially if it's exploratory or nobody's ever been out there, or you go out there and you see work that somebody has done that's a hack job, and your customer thinks that the last person did their job correctly, and that's not always the case. There's a lot of hacks out there that call themselves mechanics. Give the rest of us that work hard a bad name. It's a shame. It really is. I've had folks bring me stuff that dealers, nah, I'm not, this is not me. I'm nobody special, I tell you that right now. But my thing is, I pay attention to details, and I don't just put tape over the hole that's leaking and I fix the leak, you know what I mean? Some folks are good on patching stuff up to make it go a few more days. That's not how I do stuff. I look for the root of the problem, solve the problem. And that pays off, man. My customers see that. They see the value in that. And then they tell other people about it. And I stay busy. So it's like this one right here. This is actually a, this four-wheeler is a customer of mine that came to me from my grandpa's church. So they found out I could work on stuff, and I said, yeah, I can fix it. What's going on? He told me the issue. Certain RPM, it was backfiring. So did some leak down tests and things on it, and saw we had some valves that weren't seating very well. First needed a good valve job. So that's where we're at, man, is trying to get this sucker back together. But I've been on this for what? How long has my live been going now? An hour and a half. Hour and a half. Still working on these stupid things. Should not take this long at all. Like I'm working with surgeon tools. Well, hey dude, I know you've been watching for a while, so I understand you can't hang out here all day. If I don't see you again, it's good talking to you. Good having somebody to talk to for a little while and talking back and forth. So if you got to go, man, I get it. Have a good day, Dad. We'll see you, buddy. I love you. I'm trying to stay warm out here. I had my heater going earlier, so it's getting pretty warm. I turned it off a little bit ago because it was being too loud. But I'm all right. Why? Okay. Do your hole. Go to your hole. Nah. You need two right hands. Next time, I think I'm going to get some surgical forceps. This crap. Oh my lordy. I'm back to where I was a half hour ago. Look at that. I'm making great progress. That's what I get for talking. And not multitask. Well, if you forgive me, dude, I'm going to have to shut up for a minute and focus. Because I suck at multitasking. Keep dropping in there too far. See, this is why my full-time videos are edited quite a bit. Because this crap gets frustrating. Oh my gosh, I do not have little fingers for this. Get in there. What are you doing way down there? You're not supposed to be that far down there. Okay. Guess who's back? Can we get somewhere? Finally. I think so. Yep. Sweet. Uno más. Let's go. I'll try something. Finger cramp. Jerk. Yeah. Stupid. What I get for trying to be cute. Come on. I'm sick of this. Okay. Sweet baby Jesus. Whew. Got her done. Okay. Moving on. Come on. Don't go that far. Living hard was easy when I was young and bulletproof. I had no chains to bind me, just a guitar and the roof. Emptied every bottle when I poured and never missed. Had bloodshot eyes at 25, or was it 26? Friends worried about me, they'd ask if I was sick. Thought I wouldn't die at 25, or was it 26? Those 2 years run together like whiskey over rice. Nothing in my memory like somebody else's life. I'm glad to say I've come around, but if I could have one wish, I'd like another try at 25. Or was it 26? Met a girl in Georgia, smart and pretty, college grad. Thought our love was changing, oh, but then it all went bad. Guess I fell in love with her, all it took was just one kiss. And she said goodbye at 25. Or was it 26? Yeah, do. Isn't this just so exciting, man? Oh man, getting down into the nitty gritty. Nothing on the radio besides yours truly, and that's exciting, right? So there's always that. Varnish. Let's get you back home. How about that? How about that? You're gonna be like that, huh? Go to your hole. Okay. I gotta pull this out. Okay. Doing that again. It had to be. Yeah, I thought that was the way I had to do it. I just don't remember taking this out first. Didn't. Came in like that, stupid. Look, that's almost like it had an access point. Who'd have thunk it? Come on. Why don't you go to your spot, Sonny? Get down there. There we go. Almost. Look at you. Oh, aren't you just a sweetie? Yeah. 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 Just gotta get in there more, don't they? Yeah, they do. Well, try this again. A little windy out here today. Just a tidbit. Hit it. Yep, that's gonna hit. Well, shit. That's cool. I don't need to do that now. Thank you. Mm-hmm. That looks better. Found the one negative to this mask. You can smell your breath. Oh, I need to eat lunch. I think that's what it is. I need to eat lunch. We'll get there eventually, I guess, huh? If you're wondering what I'm doing, right now, you got these pins. You've got these pins that these rocker arms ride on, and they're a press fit. So I had them in the freezer, get them shrunk up as possible. oiled them up, got everything lined up, and I got to beat them in there. There's a little retainer that goes over top of them. I can only tap them in so far. So now they're threaded on the end, which is great. That way you can use a slide hammer to get them out. But to put them in, just got my good piece of brass here. If I can get in there. And finishing them till they bottom out. There you go. When you hear the sound change, you know you bottomed out in there. Don't take that dirty. That's not how I meant it. You know it. So don't even think about it. Much gooder. Beautiful. Sweet. It's going to be an 8 now. Why not? If any of you guys are just now tuning in, see I got 6 of you still on there. I don't know if you've been here or you're just hanging around, or you're my family members that just got it on in the background supporting me. Either way, I thank you. If you have any questions, automotive, I can give you a little bit of information. Used to do some of that. Heavy commercial, used to do some of that. Focus on small engine and ATVs and side-by-sides now. So if you got any questions about a four-wheeler or side-by-side, I could probably point you in a direction or two. Some of my videos, I've got quite a few different walkthrough videos on here on repairing four-wheelers or troubleshooting mowers, things like that. So this is a continuation of a project I've had here since October, unfortunately. Had a bunch of stupid issues, but I think I got it figured out, and been waiting on parts from Yamaha. Took forever, but finally got them in. Valve seals. Was not going to rebuild this without new valve seals. And it just took a while. Just one of them things, man. They weren't back order, they were on delay ship. Okay. I think if it's a month delay ship, it's, I don't know. Whatever. I couldn't have got them here faster even if I paid more, so it doesn't really matter. It is what it is. Not much you can do about it. Good thing about this style head is I can set the lash for the valves right here where we sit, which is wonderful. You guys ever seen this stuff before? Molybdenum. I don't know how you pronounce that. M-O-L-Y. So that's Molly. B. Denim. I don't know. Disulfate grease. I had to get this whenever I go to torque down the head bolts. Gotta have good grease on. That's what Yamaha wants you to use. So that's what we got. Alrighty, folks. So I've got this head pretty much put back together. As far as I can get it together for now. I've got to adjust the valve lash. I'll get to it. I think it's time to go eat some lunch. I haven't changed my clock since the time changed, so it says it's 12:03 or 4. So that means it's 1:04. Either way. Alrighty, so I'm going to be hopping off here for now. And then I'm going to come back and finish this thing. Thanks for hanging around, guys. See you. Now I got to figure out how to end this thing. That's fun. Maybe it's the big X button. Yep, that's it. Figured out how to do it, guys. I'll see you.